My skin was like too tan. It took me a while to finally embrace that.
Filipinos don't often see themselves modeling in America, but although this Filipino is 5'3", she's modeled for Disney, Ulta, and has even sung for every major sporting event. Meet Jules Aurora, and this is
how I built a platform to help empower Filipino women in the industry. When people call me a model, like, it's still weird for me because I'm 5'2.5" on a good day, you know, and I never thought that I would model for anything. I always wanted to. You know, I was the 3-year-old that my mom was like, oh, smile, and I would be like, eh. But I never thought that that would actually happen. And to actually like see myself when I walk into Ulta, I am so just grateful to have that opportunity and to be the face that the little girl sees and is like, oh, well, I'm beautiful too. I grew up actually thinking that my hair color wasn't beautiful and that my skin was like too tan. It took me a while to finally embrace that because I never had that growing up. Like, I never had someone to look up to. I mean, Salonga was probably the only one. She was one of my idols growing up once I found out that she was the voice of Millaine and Princess Jasmine, and I loved On My Own. That was my go-to song. Just all of her entire repertoire is just amazing, and I've always looked up to her. Actually, it was so crazy because I did a collaboration with the Philharmonic and we sang Shallow, and Salonga actually retweeted it, and it was probably like the most amazing fangirl moment of my life. One of the first gigs I ever booked was being a lead singer for Royal Caribbean. I actually performed in one of their musicals that traveled all around the Bahamas for 8 months. And I had so much free time, and I would sing covers every single day on the cruise ship in my room. And I would play my ukulele, I would do covers, and I was just consistent every day. I had a 30-second cover, and this was at the beginning of social media and Instagram and all of that. And then from there, I just started collaborating with some of my favorite YouTubers who are now so many of my good friends. So I think I perform now for all of the sports. I think my favorite was probably the Rose Bowl. I sang the national anthem for the US National Women's Soccer Team, and I loved it because it was for the women's soccer team, which is incredible. And it was their victory tour, and it was for thousands of people and on ESPN, and it was just a moment that I will never forget. And I got to meet Kobe that day. He literally walked past me and he's like, you singing the national anthem? And then I was like, yes. And then he was like, kill it. And then he high-fived me. I will never forget that moment. So it was just all around a really great experience. I think any Filipino event, like for the Dodgers or for the Clippers or the Lakers, all of those events just are amazing as well. When I sang for the Dodgers, Joe Coy was the first pitch, and I got to like meet him, and it's just so cool. Like, now seeing his show come on ABC and just being surrounded by people that are paving the way, you know, for more diversity and representation and inclusion in entertainment, I think that's my favorite. And I also started singing with my dad because he would play piano when I was a kid, and I would just sing along with him. I would sing Elvis songs, and I think I was like 3 years old, but I literally don't remember ever wanting to be anything else. Managing my mental health while doing social media nowadays is hard. I mean, there's so much comparison already just in life, and social media kind of adds even more layers to that. You're always looking at what the next person is doing, or like wondering like if you're doing enough, and I think it's definitely something that I struggle with, and you don't really see behind the scenes. Like, there are so many days when I struggle and that I'm insecure. I think that's totally normal, functioning from a place of what is my intention? Like, why am I doing this? And it helps keep me grounded. When I get messages, you know, especially the young ones, like teenagers or kids, when they're like, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to be a singer and you inspire me and I watch all your videos. That's always really humbling and really surreal for me, because when I'm creating, I forget that people actually watch what I'm creating, and I forget that there are people like on the other side of the screen. So that's the biggest honor. Forever just gonna be my goal, is to just do what I love and hopefully bring joy to others through that. Hey, One Down, my name is Jules Aurora, and this is Me Represented. So today I had the honor of singing with so many of my amazingly talented friends. I sang A Whole New World with my bestie VJ, and you guys can look out for some new music coming soon. But for now, you can follow me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok at Jules Aurora, and I hope to see you there. I love you guys. Maraming salamat.